English in Minutes. Short English lessons for real life. Hello, this is English in Minutes. I am Olivia.
And I am Rob. Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here with us today.
Olivia here. And I want to ask you something before we even get started. When someone asks you in English, "So, what does your day look like?" Do you ever feel like you say the same 3 words every single time?
Oh, absolutely. I think most learners fall into that pattern. I wake up, I eat, I sleep, and then silence.
Exactly. And look, that is not wrong. But today, we are going to help you go far beyond that. We're going to talk about how to describe your daily routine the way a native English speaker actually does.
And when we say native speaker, we do not just mean fancy words. We mean the natural rhythm, the phrases, the little expressions that make your English sound real and effortless.
Right. So today's episode is called Talking About Your Daily Routine Like a Native English Speaker. And by the end, you will have new vocabulary, natural phrases, and a lot more confidence.
But first, we have a little question for you, a multiple choice question, and we will reveal the answer later in the episode, so stay with us.
Here it is. Which phrase sounds most natural in English when describing your morning? Option A, I do my waking up at 7. Option B, I tend to wake up around 7. Or option C, I am waking at 7 every day.
Think about it, hold it in your mind. We will come back to it, I promise.
Now, let's talk about why describing a routine is actually such an important skill in English.
It comes up constantly. Job interviews, first meetings, casual conversations, even language exams. Someone will always ask you about your day, your habits, your schedule.
And the thing is, most learners know the vocabulary for their routine. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, but they don't know how to make it sound natural. And that gap, that's what we are closing today.
Let's start with something small but very powerful. The phrase tend to, as in, I tend to wake up around 7.
Let's explain that phrase. Tend to means you usually do something, or it's your habit. It's softer than always and stronger than sometimes. You might say, I tend to have coffee before I check my phone. It shows a pattern without sounding rigid.
And native speakers use it all the time. It makes your English sound thoughtful and honest because most habits aren't 100% every single day.
Exactly. So practice that one. Think of one habit you have and use tend to. For example, I tend to go for a walk after dinner.
Now let's talk about another word that transforms how you describe a routine. The word gradual, or the phrase gradually.
Let's explain that word. Gradual means something happens slowly, step by step, not all at once. For example, I gradually wake up over the first hour of my morning. It sounds much more vivid than just saying I wake up slowly.
And this matters because when you describe your day with words like gradually, you paint a picture. You're not just listing events, you're helping the listener feel the day with you.
There's actually research from language acquisition studies that shows learners who use descriptive adverbs and time expressions are rated as more fluent even when their grammar is not perfect. The texture of the language matters.
That is such a great point. So the next word we want to introduce is unwind.
Let's explain that one. To unwind means to relax and release the stress of the day. It's what you do in the evening, after work, after effort. For example, I usually unwind by reading for 30 minutes before bed. It's a beautiful word, very natural, very adult.
And the opposite of unwind would be something like tense up or get stressed. So unwind is that gentle movement toward calm.
Now, here's something interesting. Many native speakers structure their day in 3 emotional phases without even realizing it. There's the ramp up in the morning, the peak in the middle of the day, and the wind down in the evening.
And wind down is our next phrase. Let's explain it.
To wind down means to gradually slow your activity and move toward rest. It's similar to unwind, but wind down often refers to the process, the steps you take. For example, I start to wind down around 9 in the evening. I dim the lights, put my phone away, and make some tea.
See how that example gives a real picture? It's not just, I go to bed. It's a process, and that's what native speakers do. They narrate their routine.
Which brings us to another word, narrate. But we won't make that a vocabulary word today. Instead, let's bring in the phrase, in the habit of.
Let's explain that. In the habit of means you do something regularly, almost automatically. For example, I'm in the habit of checking my messages first thing in the morning, or she's in the habit of preparing her clothes the night before.
And this phrase is useful because it shows self-awareness. You're not just doing things, you understand your own patterns, and that's a very mature and impressive thing to express in English.
Now, here's a reflective question for you, our listener. Think about your own evening routine. What do you do to wind down, and can you describe it using at least 2 of the phrases we have shared today? Pause if you need to, say it out loud. That's how language becomes yours.
Take your time with that. There is no rush.
One more vocabulary word before our recap, and this one is lovely. The word is deliberate.
Let's explain that. Deliberate means done on purpose, with intention, thought about in advance. For example, she's very deliberate about her morning routine. She wakes at the same time, does the same exercises, and eats the same breakfast. Being deliberate means you're not just reacting to your day, you're designing it.
And studies on productivity and well-being, including work from researchers at University College London, suggest that having even a few deliberate habits each day significantly reduces stress and improves focus.
So being deliberate isn't about being rigid, it's about being intentional.
Now let's go back to our multiple choice question. Which phrase sounds most natural when describing your morning? Option A was, I do my waking up at 7. Option B, I tend to wake up around 7. Or option C, I am waking at 7 every day.
And the answer is option B. I tend to wake up around 7. It uses tend to naturally, which we explained earlier. It gives a sense of habit without being too mechanical. Options A and C sound translated, a little forced.
And now that you understand tend to, that answer makes complete sense.
Let's do our vocabulary recap now. We covered some really good ones today.
First, tend to. This means you usually do something as a habit. Example, I tend to eat lunch at my desk.
Second, gradually. This means slowly, step by step. Example, I gradually became more productive once I fixed my morning routine.
Third, unwind. This means to relax after stress or effort. Example, I unwind by listening to music in the evening.
Fourth, wind down. Similar to unwind, but refers to the process of slowing down before rest. Example, I start to wind down an hour before bed.
Fifth, in the habit of. This means you do something regularly, almost automatically. Example, I'm in the habit of checking my messages first thing in the morning.
And sixth, deliberate. This means done with clear intention and purpose. Example, he's very deliberate about how he spends the first hour of his day.
6 wonderful words. Practice them. Use them when you talk about your own day. Say them out loud. Write them down. Teach one to someone else.
Because that's how you go from knowing a word to truly owning it.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today on English in Minutes. We hope your day, whatever it looks like, becomes a little easier to describe.
And a little more deliberate. Until next time, take care of yourselves.
See you soon.